Hi, my name is Joshua, and today I'm going to be sharing with you the pros and cons of living in Florida. Let's get started. The first pro of living or moving to Florida is that throughout the entire year, it's warm. Give or take 2 or 3 months, it is warm enough to go to the beach. Almost every single Christmas here, it's 80-something degrees, and you could easily go to the beach to celebrate Christmas if you chose to. I don't know who would, but you could if you wanted to. Pro number 2, because the climate is so warm, the beautiful scenery and greenery stays around year-round. You don't have to worry about winter coming and things looking dull. Everything stays green year-round, which is really beautiful, and it's a drastic change if you are used to city life. I used to live in LA, and I'll be doing a video about my experiences living in LA and why I'm glad I live in Florida now instead of LA, but we'll get to that in the next one. The greenery here is astounding, and that's part of the charm of Florida. Pro number 3. Living in Florida is a more laid-back experience than if you were coming from a larger city. The exception might be Miami, but where I live, which is still a very densely populated place, and yes, there still is a lot of traffic where I live, it's still more laid back compared to an LA or a New York or some of the larger metropolitan areas. And if that's something you're into, as I am, you'll appreciate that about Florida. If you want the hustle and bustle, most aspects of Florida are not going to accommodate that lifestyle. Pro number 4. There's such a large diversity of people that live in Florida, and so you're not going to run into one particular style or kind of human being. Everybody's different here. Everybody has moved to Florida for a variety of reasons. You have everything from the Florida natives to the snowbirds who've come down, to the people who want to hang out at the beach every day, to the young guys who want to go surfing, and the older folks who come down here to just retire and to enjoy the warmth on their joints. You got everybody all in one place together, and naturally within that, depending upon your personality, you may like that, you may not. The diversity factor though is pretty huge in Florida. Granted, when you live in certain pockets of communities, yes, in Miami it's going to be a much more fast-paced younger crowd, and then there are other places which are more suited towards retirees. But across the board, you're going to get an eclectic mix of people who live in Florida. All right, let's get into the cons. Con number 1. Because Florida is such a laid-back place to live in many respects, that also includes when you are driving down the road, many people are not in a rush to get anywhere. A lot of people are retired, and so if you are an impatient driver, that might frustrate you. Con number 2, and this is a big one. Hurricane season. Hurricane season. Man, during Irma, we had a massive rosewood tree in our backyard. Massive. The height of a 5 or 6 story building, and the branches spread so far and wide it blocked out the sun. It was a remarkable tree. Probably took over 100 years for it to grow to its size that it was. And because the lateral root system, they don't go deep, the lateral roots just spread out throughout the grass but very shallow. Once the storm hit, once the hurricane hit, it toppled over that enormous rosewood tree, ripping up the roots out of the earth and forming what looked like a 10-foot hobbit home from where the tree once was. That's a little story to illustrate how living in Florida and dealing with the hurricanes can impact you and your property. By the grace of God, it did not fall or land on our home. Rather, the tree fell away from our home and only landed on a power line, which is why we lost power for an entire week, which was extremely rough, particularly when you have small children. But it's all sorted out now. All right, con number 3. Florida, like any other place that is located along the equator, is not only hot, it is extremely humid. You can be standing outside during the summer for 2 minutes and you will be sweating through your shirt, just standing there. Sometimes just walking to your car is enough. That's something you got to learn to deal with and just accept living here in Florida. It's humid, it's always humid, it will always be humid, and you need to get used to sweating through your clothes on a daily basis. And con number 4. Depending upon if you enjoy the seasons or not, I do enjoy the seasons. It bums me out that it is one season here in Florida year-round, which is just warm. I do miss seeing the leaves change. It would be cool to experience snow a couple weeks out of the year, but for the most part in Florida, it's just hot, and during the summer, early autumn, very, very rainy. Oh, and one more thing. Having come from living in California and moving to Florida, the topography and geography of Florida is extremely flat. So if you are used to mountains, hills, valleys, things of this sort, you're not going to experience that here in Florida. It's just flat from one end to the other, from one gulf to the ocean. It is flat. And if you don't mind that, fantastic. That's something that I do miss about California, albeit I don't miss most things about California. That is one thing I do miss. All right, so I hope that was informational for you. I hope it provided some level of clarity of maybe some things you hadn't really thought of, or maybe it reaffirmed things that you already believed about living in Florida. If this video was helpful, please like the video so that I know to maybe consider making more videos like this, and please let me know down in the comments what you liked about it. Maybe you have any further questions. Maybe you would like me to do a second video further discussing Florida, the pros and cons, maybe things that are specific and unique to my situation, or any questions you may further have about living here. Subscribe if this is the type of content you're interested in seeing. If you would like to see more aspects of my life and the ways that I express myself creatively on this channel, feel free to subscribe for that reason as well. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks. Have a great day.